I want to talk about how nobody ever really dies. Nobody or nothing ever really dies. I just want to see what comes through. But this is not a scripted video. But remember to like and subscribe and comment down below what your opinion about this is. So basically, I feel like, as in, I sense, as in, my female intuition tells me, as in, I hear, as in, I receive the message that when a loved one of ours passes away, their energy is still connected to us. And therefore, their energy, which has not died, their energy, which exists eternally because we are eternal, their energy is still connected to us. So we can still receive messages from them and we can still sense them. And they can still communicate with us, basically. Whatever that communication is, they can communicate with us. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. And I also don't want to be naive and say that it's not impossible for something else to be cosplaying. To be cosplaying, and that's where discernment comes in. So, spiritual discernment. How do you get spiritual discernment, Verde? Well, meditating and writing and sitting in nature will allow you to still your mind. And I feel like when our minds are still and when our vessels are pure and clean, so, drinking water and eating whole foods, fruits and vegetables, and just being mindful and being open. I feel like when we're open, we can receive clarity, I guess is the word. Like we will be in a state of clarity because we are clear and like on point, and just feeling your crown chakra activated, that type of frequency, basically. Like when you do everything you can do to stay elevated, present, and always type of thing, then naturally, when we come across certain things that we're like, is that my loved one or is it not? We know and we act accordingly, basically. We always know what to do. It's important to trust ourselves. Side note, but I feel like traveling helps us to learn how to trust ourselves in our journey of life. Because in life, we make a lot of decisions and everything is about the choices that we make. And so when you make a choice and when you make a decision, you want to really understand why you're making that decision. And it needs to be reflected upon, basically, any decision. But sometimes we don't have time to reflect upon all of our decisions. So that's where being in our crown chakra comes in. Like, what feels the best in the moment? If you don't have time to think about it, you just got to go with your gut, because your gut is first. That's a good one. Your gut is first. You feel that first. And then we rationalize. We have the instinct of something, and then we say, wait, but what will happen if we do that? We can't do that. But then we're like, what about this and what about that? And like, wait, but that's when we start thinking. But like, that initial feeling that comes first. And I feel like, depending on what you do for work or like what your life look like on an everyday basis, unless you're faced where you have to make a bunch of decisions, you're never going to get better at making decisions. So I feel like it's important for us to put ourselves in situations where we have to make a bunch of decisions. And I feel like when you just travel and when you're just like wandering a city and you've never been there before, have y'all experienced? Let me know down in the comments below if you've experienced this. You just pull up to a place, right? New place. Maybe you solo travel, or maybe you went with a group or whoever and you just had a moment to yourself. where you could get away and just like it was just you exploring at that moment or whatever. And like each time you look somewhere, it's a decision. It's like, what am I going to put my focus on? What am I going to put my attention on? Where am I called to? Where am I going to take myself? We can will ourselves wherever we want to go. If you want to experience whatever experience you want to experience, that experience is happening somewhere, and you can will yourself closer to those experiences if that's what you want. Like, for example, I've always wanted to be around artists, creatives, niggas. And I moved to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like A plus B, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, babe. Like, so yeah. Life is what we make it. You know, I truly feel like that. But what was I talking about? That nobody ever really dies. Like our pets, our grandparents, no matter who it is, we breathe through it, letting our hearts have peace and letting our minds be at peace with what has happened and with the acceptance that we won't ever hug these people, experience these animals, these beings in this physical reality anymore. But even that, I don't know, because if you have a dream, those dreams be feeling real when you're in them. But anyway, yeah, they're not in this 3D anymore. However, they kind of are, because, like, for example, my dad loved the water, was always fishing, loved the ocean. I'm from a beach city, and I feel connected to the water to my dad when I'm in the water. So that's a physical thing, and that brings me so much love and makes me feel all the ways that a daughter wants to feel, like safe, held, like just taken care of. I don't have fear in the ocean. I don't. I don't have fear. I don't have fear in the ocean. I respect the ocean. That doesn't mean I don't fear the ocean, but I don't fear the ocean. I trust the ocean, and I trust the ocean. I respect the ocean. I am not above the ocean, so who am I to feel that the ocean can't do anything to me? What am I gonna fear? Drowning? Like, if the ocean wants me, if that's what I'm supposed to do, I trust the ocean. If I'm in it drowning, that is exactly what the will of God is. Like, I just trust everything about the ocean. The ocean just makes me feel so calm. So no matter what's happening, like I truly pray I always feel that way. But as of now, like, I do respect the ocean, and I just want to continue learning about the ocean. I love being in the ocean. As of right now, I have no fear being in the ocean. And in fact, it's one of my happiest places ever. And I love floating in the ocean, and I love writing songs in the ocean. And yeah, but with that being said, I connect with my dad through the ocean. So maybe your loved one is, you feel connected to them through butterflies or through some type of bug or some type of animal or some type of plant or flower or herb, and these things remind you of them. Some type of food, something like some type of art form. When you're cooking, when I'm cooking, I feel connected to my dad. That's a very tactile thing. So, these earrings my dad fished, these are fish earrings. So I just feel like there's ways where our loved ones are with us that are so beautiful and safe and sacred, and they're things that we have control over, and nobody is manipulating us or coercing us to do it or anything. It's decisions that we made, and it just, we're connected to them always. So that's, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Anyway, may all of our hearts always feel eased and feel relaxed when it comes to us missing and grieving our loved ones still, because I feel like it's a continuous thing, just going through the different phases of life and just reflecting, and maybe new memories come up with our loved ones and everything. But it's a process, it's a journey, but all of it's beautiful, and there's lessons within everything. So anyways, you guys, thanks for listening. Peace out.